What's going on, teammates? Welcome to another Scott Man Live with a focus on Task Force Pineapple and the amazing stories that we're telling in the month of November. This is November 2025, and not only is it Veterans Day, but it's also the month of the military family. And it's frankly one of my favorite months because of that and so many cool things that are happening during that time. As we're dialing in here, we got folks showing up. So what I would ask you to do, if you wouldn't mind, is just first of all, your name, where you're calling in from or dialing in from, and hashtag live or hashtag replay. Even if you're watching this on the replay, please put hashtag replay in there because we like to be able to go back and just see who's dialing in, who's watching this. And there's going to be opportunities throughout this episode for you to weigh in, ask questions in the text thread or in the chat. So, please do that. Put that in there. Also, speaking of questions, if you have any questions about the topics that we're hitting today, which is mostly going to be warrior storytelling, specifically Last Out, and a little bit about 11 days, now's the time to ask. So not only will I be on here, but we've got several cast members on here. Who are we looking at right now, Colin, that we've got in from? We've got Stacy's here.
Michael, Lenny, and Carrie is here as well.
Okay, cool. So Carrie, our tour manager, is here. Lenny is here, dialing in from Chicago, probably. Michael Broderick, who plays Master Sergeant Danny Patton, and Stacy, who plays Lynn Patton, are all in here. We also have my buddy Ricky Ritchie and Mimi, who are hosting the Last Out play down in Pensacola. So let's just jump into it. The whole idea behind this live call was, one, it's been a while since we've been here. So let me just kind of let this roll in. But I also wanted to just I wanted to talk about these shows, man, that are coming up. They're so powerful. Scott McClin is here. Welcome, Scott. It's good to see you, buddy. Thanks for emailing me today. And I responded back about that podcast opportunity. Van, good to see you. Van is a member of our Rooftop Live on School. My buddy Perry Blackburn is here, dialing in from Kansas. Perry is one of the original horse soldiers, and he is also a cast member in Last Out. Plays the sweetheart Colonel Smith with just dripping with sweetness. Also in here, we've got Dan Fielding. Hey, Dan, what's going on, man? It is great to see you. So glad that you're here. It's been a while. I hope you can get to the show, man. Let me know if you're going to be able to make it. And we still, the chat room is still populating here. Bill Malone is in here. Good to see you, buddy. Bill, one of our storytelling participants. So this is enough to start. It's a good group here. So let's just jump in here. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me just stop for a second and see if you can't hear me, because I'll back it all up and do it again if you can't. Can somebody give me a thumbs up that you can hear me or not? Yep. Okay. Scott, it sounds like I can be heard. Perry, can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Yeah. Okay. Dan said he's got me. So, all right, we're 5 by, so we'll go ahead and keep going. All right, so we're just going to jump into it. The focus this evening is going to be to talk about our 2 Task Force Pineapple plays with emphasis on Last Out because it's coming up the quickest. It'll be the last performance of Last Out in 2025. Last Out, Elegy of a Green Beret. And I'm going to let Carrie talk about that in detail here in a second, as well as the cast. But it's going to be November 22nd. That's a Saturday. And it's going to be in Pensacola, Florida. Details to follow in just a second. Also, Colin can run the banner on that for information if you want to go ahead and start checking that out. If you got questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'm going to ask maybe Carrie and Lenny to kind of keep an eye on questions as they come in and shoot them over to Colin if he's not catching them or I'm not catching them, just to help us kind of, keep up with these questions. But if you've got questions about the production, about 2026, now's a good time to get them in there. And if we don't know the answers, we'll circle back to you. And then we'll also talk a little bit about the world premiere of 11 Days, my one-man show that we're going to be rolling out, adapted off of Operation Pineapple Express. That's going to be premiering December 17 through 20 right here in Tampa at Ybor City. All right, so I thought I would start with a little insight from this weekend. Monty and I were volunteering at the Raymond James Golf Tournament. If you don't know Raymond James, the investment company, they have been a huge supporter of Task Force Pineapple over the years. They have sponsored our shows. They have brought the show Last Out into Raymond James. As far as I know, Carrie, I think that's the only organization like corporation that actually brought us inside their building to perform it, to show just how kind of dedicated they are to all of this. But anyway, Carrie has done a great job of just working our corporate relationship with them over the years. We have a great relationship with them, and they made a sizable donation to the performance this year so that we could keep going. And as part of that, they do this golf tournament that raises a lot of this money. And Monty and I, we went to the golf tournament, went to an event that night before, a donor event, and then sat at the 17th hole with our table and talked to golfers as they came through about Pineapple and our shows and stuff. Well, as we were going to this thing, I had just come off, like a lot of you, a Friday, running hard, a lot of calls, and frankly was not feeling it. I was just like, man, I don't know how I can even kind of muster the strength for this. But I was getting myself ready to go. And then, Mercy said, hey, can you speak for 5 minutes at this about the play? And I really wasn't ready to do that. But I knew it was important. And so I did. And I talked about actually how the play originated Last Out and my own mental health challenges and a way of trying to get those into the world and telling the story. And so I'd said my piece, and I was done, and I walked away, and I was talking to Monty, and this guy comes up to me. His name's Jim, and he was really emotional. Right. And I thought maybe I'd said something that had triggered him or whatever. And he said, I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time. And I was like, okay. And so we kind of pulled off to the side, and he says, this play saved my life. And what do you say to that? And Monty but the wild thing is we've heard that before. So I knew it was time to just listen. And I just said, please, tell me more. And he said, I was a JSOC guy. I was an operator for years and years and years. Got out, had a really, really bad transition, and was getting near the end of my rope, went to your play. And when it was over, dialed the suicide helpline and sat on the phone out in the parking lot outside the theater for 3 hours on the phone with a counselor. And he said, it started a journey in my healing that has culminated with me now being a senior director in a nonprofit that helps connect other nonprofits for veterans and, intervene with suicide prevention techniques from all of these different groups. And he was just like, that story put that in motion for me because I located myself in that story. And, Monty and I went home that night and we were talking about it. And just for me, just reaffirmed so much the magnitude of what this is all about is this storytelling, this warrior storytelling to educate civilians and validate and heal those who lived these modern wars. Right. And that's what our mission is at Task Force Pineapple. And we do that through warrior storytelling. We do that by telling the stories from the stage, leveraging the individuals who lived it, our veterans and our military family members. And that is certainly no exception. So we're going to get into the Last Out discussion here in just a second. It's going to be kind of a live discussion around the play itself, the evolution of the play as it wraps up its third season, and how our cast and our team is feeling, and our hosts about this final show that's coming to Pensacola, to the north, to the panhandle of Florida on the 22nd of November. Before I do that, I want to throw a shout out to my 7th group brethren and their families. I hope if you're watching this either live or on the replay and anywhere near the Pensacola area, and I know you're pretty close to it, that you'll come to the show. And please let us know if you're coming. It means a lot. And if there's any families of the fallen that you know of that we can honor at this show, please let us know. Carrie will be on in a second and she can talk a little bit about that. So with that, I'm going to actually go to Carrie first. I'm going to bring her up. And Carrie, first of all, thanks for being here tonight. And thanks for all of you that you've done. For those of you who don't know, Carrie and I go way back. She's Monty's bestie. They've been buddies since we were all sticking and moving in the global war on terror up at Fort Bragg, North Carolina and Pope Air Force Base. And Carrie, after losing her husband, Carl, to suicide, moved down here to Florida to be close to Monty, but also close to our mission. And now she leads all of our projects with storytelling with the plays. And Carrie, so thanks for being here. Can you talk a little bit about the show in Pensacola? How's it lining up? How you feeling about it? And just kind of give us the details on it.
You're muted.
You're muted, Carrie. I was waiting for that.
Here we go. Okay,
we go.
yes, we are extremely excited to be brought into Pensacola. Working with Ricky and Mimi has been amazing. And this show is going to be a little bit different than some of the other ones that we've been in, which is typically in an actual theater. Excuse me. Our show is going to be in a Sanders Beach Kareem Jones resource building. And so it's in their main ballroom that's on the water. It's beautiful. And we've actually booked audio and sound and everything to come in to do the show. So we'll have seats brought in, and it's really looking to be a powerful show. And so the show itself is going to be on the 22nd of November at 7 p.m. And the day before that, on the 21st, at the same location, but not in the ballroom, we're doing a storytelling workshop that we've had tremendous success with getting that word out there. In fact, we're probably oversold or, over freebied on it. So it's going to be a packed room. And we have a bunch of families of the fallen that we're going to recognize. And those of you that don't know, that is where we've lost somebody in the community, whether it's a veteran or a first responder, and it's to all different types of loss. So we kind of put that all together and honor all of their service. So it's really gearing up to be a dynamic show in a beautiful state, in a beautiful city.
Awesome, Carrie. And you're crushing it with getting it all set up. I'm going to ask Colin to, people are asking where can they get tickets. So we'll show tickets for right now. We'll show how people can get tickets for the Pensacola show. And then when we talk about 11 days, we'll do that as well. But let's go to, yeah, go ahead, Carrie. Sorry.
Say, if you'll put your email in the chat, I'm tracking that. And then I can send you anything you need. So let's say you say, man, I wish I could go to the show. I can't make it, but how do I share it? I'll send you everything you need to spread the word.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, Carrie, one other thing is there are people that have shown interest in hosting or having the shows come to their towns in 2026. That's a pretty specific purpose. But if people are interested in hosting the show, if they just put hashtag host in here, then we can get you connected with them. Colin can get you connected with them.
So what'll happen with that is, thank you, Colin, for putting that. He's so fast.
I know.
If you will let me know that you're willing or wanting to bring it to your city, Grayson Myrick, who I'm teamed with, she is absolutely phenomenal. She was our understudy for the character of Lynn during the time we toured with the Gary Sinise Foundation. And she's helping me build that out. And so the two of us get on a call together and find out what exactly do you need from us. And we let you know exactly what we need from you. So absolutely put that in the chat and I'll write down your information.
Perfect. And also, even if you can't make the show in Pensacola, right? I guarantee you everybody watching this knows people in the Panhandle, and just helping us spread the word. This is a one-night performance. We want to sell this sucker out because it is just electrifying when it's sold out. And it is so powerful. And it's a one-time only performance in this theater. So if you know anybody in the Panhandle area, send them the link, send them this replay. Recommend that they come. And it's not just for veterans, it's for civilians, it's for politicians, it's for anybody that needs to really better understand modern war, but also for those who lived it. So, Carrie, I'll probably circle back to you on 11 days here in a second, but I want to bring in Stacy. Stacy is up at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and she's been on with us before on these lives. But Stacy is, in addition to being an amazing actor, she's also lived this life. She's lived this life, married to a special forces officer for years. They have lived the life. They've lived this modern war, multiple deployments, the loss that comes with it, the joy that comes with it. And she just brings a level of authenticity, depth, and breadth to this character, Lynn Patton, that just like unlike anything I've ever seen. So I would recommend to anybody, if you just getting down to see Stacy play this role she's changed the whole thing, the whole dynamic of the play. So Stacy, welcome. I guess my first question to you is, we always talk about Veterans Day, and that's awesome in the month of November. But, a lot of people don't know that November is the month of the military family. And, that's something that we really want to leverage more in this coming month and with this show. Can you talk a little bit about, for you, how performing this role and doing this project has what it's meant to you in your mission to promote and advocate for military families?
I mean, it's been amazing. And honestly, even, starting this play, going through this play, I didn't realize that there were some things that maybe I didn't work through myself. I've been with my service member now for 22 years, and there were some really hard times that we went through over those 22 years, specifically in the first half of his career. And I don't think I quite processed those things. So when I was, when you guys cast me for the show, which was a great honor, when I went into this, I thought, okay, yeah, I can do this. It's no problem. I've lived the life, no big deal. But it's been so much more than that for me personally. It's really allowed me to tell my story specifically because of some of those scenes on that stage are things that I personally went through with my husband. So it's allowed me to kind of work through a little bit of my trauma that I don't even think I really knew I had. And it's also helped our immediate family talk about things. Like even my husband and he saw the show for the first time and he was completely blown away. He didn't think it would affect him as much as it did. And he would stop and say to me, gosh, I mean, all the things we've talked about, I never realized you went through that. I never realized the Skype Christmases affected you as much as it did, or, that you held in so many things so that I could focus on the mission at hand. So it's been awesome. I've had, close friends of mine who are still doing this life just like me. They've seen the play. It's opened up communication between them and their service member, and their kids even, because Josh Verdugo plays my son, Caden, and even our interaction in the show and him with Michael, who plays Danny. It's really been eye-opening for so many people in my life. A lot of military families, they've really benefited from it.
Yeah, it's so obvious. And, one of the things that I've always believed with storytelling is that storytelling is a sense-making tool. You know what I mean? Like it allows us to make sense of things that just don't make any sense. And like you said, we bury a lot of this stuff. I know Monty and I went through the same thing when we had originally rolled the play out. She helped me with the writing. And did she tell you she actually played Lynn one time?
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm still catching wrath for that one.
Yeah.
But she really brought it. And the reason was because the emotional point of view that goes with your character, to me, is as profound or more so than the intellectual spoken word point of view. Like it's the stuff that you don't even say. It's the physicality. It's the weight of what our military families carry. And the way that your performance in this play allows people to maybe make sense of that, even when the words aren't spoken. Have you got any insights on that?
Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, I feel like honestly, a lot of the nonverbal parts that are happening on the show, I feel like I didn't realize, when we started doing the show and I was working with Jason, their director, it was all about, okay, I memorize my lines, I go up there, all right, I act a little bit. But he showed us, no, it's in those quiet moments. That's where everyone's really going to feel the most impact. So Michael and I have really done a good job as we've gotten to know each other and work with each other this past year of really settling into those moments with each other. And we have found that when we do the talkbacks after the show, which are sometimes even more powerful than actually going through and doing the show, we have found that a lot of people have related to those scenes the most.
Yeah.
So,
you're right. And something else, Stacey, this came up in a conversation this weekend with an SF guy who had remarried, and this is something, I don't know if you've seen this, but of course, there's the experience that a lot of military couples have where like you and Tony have had, or others that watch the play and you see your life together in the play. But then there's another dynamic that I had not thought of until fairly recently, but I started to hear feedback on it, is service members and frankly, military family members who remarry, start their lives anew in some of these relationships. But guess what? The residual baggage is still there. The pain is still there. And now this new partner in their life has no clue what led to that, what that context was. They only see the manifestation of what's left. And it's, it is so difficult at times. And the number of people who come to the show with a new partner and they're able to see it in a way that it actually helps make sense of the things that happen in the late hours of the night, for example, that make no sense. Have you seen any evidence of that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I actually think several of the talkbacks that we've done, there's been situations like that where we had someone, he's now retired, he's there with his new spouse. They've been together for a while, but in that she wasn't with him when he was, during his time of service. And I've actually had them come up and talk to me afterwards when we get to, mingle with the audience and say, thank you for showing that, because there have been things that he's been going through that I didn't quite understand what was happening there. And they've really appreciated being able to sit side by side, see that show together, and then it allows them to communicate more effectively with each other. And for him to talk about it too, because now she has seen what he went through.
Powerful stuff. Any thoughts on anything that you'd like any shout outs or anything? I know you got peeps down in the Pensacola area. Anything that you'd like to say? By the way, we're going to be able to be there. We thought we were not going to be able to be there, but Monty and I are going to be able to be there. We'll be spending our anniversary with you guys. So we're looking forward to it.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm just super excited. We're actually coming up on our 1 year anniversary of doing our first show, this cast, doing our first show together. And so it's really special. I think it's kind of great that we're ending our 2025 tour in Florida again, since that's kind of where we met and we started this thing. So I'm just really excited. I've been sharing it. I know a lot of people my people are sharing it with their people that are in Florida. And I actually even know some people who are traveling a couple hours to come see the show, because they were really bummed they missed it in Tampa when we were there last November. So it's going to be really powerful. The cast always loves to see each other again because we're all spread out over the country. So we know this is our last one for this year, and we're going to give it our all. So I really hope that as many people as possible can come and see it.
Yeah, I have no doubt you all are going to blow the roof off.
Wait,
Colin, I don't know if those comments are that I'm looking at on the right side of the big screen or for us as well. But we're not. But Stacey, we'll probably bring you back on here in a few. But I really appreciate everything that you've done to make this show so powerful. One last thing I want to say with you on here, for anybody watching this, this play, we perform this play, Stacey and team perform this play really out of love and out of love for the community and the country. And it is a lift. It is a resource lift. Carrie will attest to this, to keep this thing going. They work their ass off to bring this show to every corner of the country. If anybody watching this, if you all have contacts into the corporate arena, contacts into private wealth donors, anyone, government that can help us row this boat in 2026, very appreciated, because it's not easy. And this team works their ass off to keep it going, oftentimes on fumes to keep it going. And so I want to say that, because anybody watching this, you never know. So, much appreciated if anybody can make those connections. Anything to close out, Stace?
No, I think that's it. I mean, we definitely do. We literally pour our hearts and souls into each performance that we do. And it can be a heavy lift, because we want to be completely authentic, and we give it our all emotionally, physically. And we just love each other so much. And I hope that also comes through in our performances each night.
It does. Trust me. You guys are the best. Thanks, Stacey. We'll talk soon.
Thanks,
Scott. All right. Yeah. So can you tell me, we had a comment come in.
So he says, Scott, can you talk a little bit about the process you followed to write Last Out?
So the question was, can you talk a little bit about the process that I followed to write Last Out? I will tell you, and that's from Bill Malone. Appreciate it, Bill. I had no clue what I was doing at all, which is pretty much par for my life. I think that's pretty much my MO, in the sense that I'd never written a play. So I had nothing to go off of. What I think I had more than anything was a story that was working its way out of me. And I'm sure a lot of you watching this can relate to that. I know Dan Fielding can relate to that, and Perry and others, and Michael, who have these stories, Lenny, that are brewing inside of us. And you don't really know what to do with it. It kind of feels like TNT. But I knew for me, I can remember Monty, Bill, one time Monty and I we were on financial fumes with this show. We had poured everything we had into it. We were still, broke doing it. And she just said to me, she's like, I just don't understand why this effing play is so important. And, and I just said, because I'll die if I don't, and that is really how I felt, man. I felt like for me, it was life or death to get this thing out into the world. And that made no sense, but it made all the sense in the world at the same time. And so the process I followed is the same process I'd used to write books, or anything else, which is to just move the pen and to try to just be an instrument, a vessel for a story that is not even mine. I mean, Last Out is not autobiographical. It is based on characters that I knew and loved, many of whom aren't around anymore. Some of it's from my own life, but I feel like it's from a very different place, Bill, that was gifted to me. And then just applying a regimen. And that was one thing I did do, very, very regimented in my writing. And I didn't hesitate to ask for help. I reached out to people who were really, really helpful to me on the writing front and who could help me think it through, including Jason and others. And whenever I wrote myself into a corner, I would ask for help. And I found that people came to my aid all along. And the final thing that I'll say, and then I'm going to go to Ricky and then we'll hit the cast again. The other thing that I would say on the process for writing the play was, and this was Bo Eason gave me this advice. Bo's a former NFL football player. You guys have probably heard me talk about him a lot. Turned actor, turned playwright, wrote a one-man show that went off Broadway. And Bo told me early on in the process, he said, Scott, when you roll this play out, your first year is development. So just set your expectations aside. You're going to have performances where 4 people show up. It's going to be disappointing. It's going to be clunky and ugly. But he said, it's all development. It's all part of the development of the play, and you're in it for the long haul. So let the first year, what you do is you have a talk back after every show and you ask the audience the questions that terrify you for the answers. What didn't land with you? How could we do this better? What's missing? And, we had Vietnam veterans standing up saying, hey, you guys, what are you bitching about? Like we had dog shit thrown at us. You know what I mean? And that's why we wrote a lot of the Vietnam stuff into it. We had a special forces spouse stand up in Albuquerque, New Mexico and say, You veterans can throw a fit wherever you want. You can break down wherever you want. What spouses, we can't do that. We have to keep it together when our kids aren't looking. You know, we have to wait for those moments when we can break down. And that's where the scream scene came in. So what we did, Bill, was we gave ourselves, and Lenny can talk about this too, but after every performance in 2019, we would pull up as a cast and we would rewrite. And I think the damn ending changed like 7 times, right, Lenny? I mean, it was crazy how many times the ending changed. But that was probably the game changer, was that we gave ourselves permission to continue to move the pen every Monday after a performance for a year. And that the audience told us what was missing, and they are the ones who tightened the play. I can't take credit for a damn bit of it. The audience, what I can take credit for along with my castmates was we listened pretty well and we took good notes. And then we made the changes that were suggested. And what you see now is that product. So when you come see this show, hell, even if you saw it last year, it's changed. It's evolved. It continues to evolve. This cast has taken it to a whole new level, like a whole different level. And the chemistry between them alone has blows the roof off. So let me go to Ricky. And can we bring Ricky and Mimi in? Or can you bring 2 in or no? Yeah, we'll bring Ricky and Mimi in. So I want everybody to say hello to my dear friend Ricky Ritchie over in Alabama, and Mimi. They work together. Ricky is a client of mine. We've been friends a long time. He does a lot of work on storytelling, and the storytelling work has had such a profound effect on him that he is starting a nonprofit to help veterans transition to the telecom industry. But also, he wanted to host this play. He felt strongly about it, and I have to say, he and his team have, and if you could just throw kudos their way, man, because they have taken on the Herculean task of hosting this play, making it possible to bring it to Pensacola, and they've done the whole lift themselves. So thank you guys. Ricky, what's it been like hosting the play and bringing it to Alabama?
It's been great, you know. Mimi has actually done most of the work with one leg, so she broke her ankle recently. So, but she's still hustling and getting things done. But you know, for me, it was like I said when I first met you, I thought I was going to a public speaking class, and it was like I said, it turned into so much more. And I wanted to be part of that, help you tell your story, and it's been a great experience.
Yeah. What was the impetus for you, Ricky, to decide to host it?
You know, I think we tried to, we've had nonprofits in the past. We had a kid travel fund. We supported it a long time. And so we always try to find something that we want to give back to during the year. And it really just came together for me. It was like, wow, that's what we're going to do. You know, we're going to help Scott tell this story and deliver this story because, you guys are the ones that helped us build a business. You know, I started a company with a 401k money, but it's the only reason I can do that is because we have this country that allows guys like me to start with scratch and build a great business. And giving back was really important.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And okay, so Mimi, with 1 foot, you could stand a play up on 1 foot. That's how talented you are. So what's this experience been like, and what have you learned from it?
It has actually been a really incredible experience. When Ricky first asked me to help him with the nonprofit and with bringing the play here, what Ricky didn't know was that this would become my passion project as well as alongside his. But it has been an absolute pleasure to work with you and with everyone at Task Force Pineapple to get it here. I am beyond excited for everything we're doing with the nonprofit, with this play, and what our future holds.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's been because other people think about hosting the play, what's probably been your biggest lesson learned in hosting the play, and what would you say to other hosts that are thinking about doing it?
Honestly, the venue was definitely the most challenging thing, which you would think in Pensacola it would not be. So make sure you know your area and you know where your venues are. That's going to be my biggest tidbit.
Okay, yeah. That's awesome.
Doing it way in advance. Doing it way in advance, I think, was something that we would have been helpful.
Say that part again. What was that?
Just planning really more than a year ahead, right? To find the venue, because that was our challenge. Was everything was booked up, and so Mimi did a great job. I mean, we went to some strange places and looked at a lot of different venues that really didn't make sense, but it was everything your theater wise you would think about, it was already booked up.
Yeah, and I tell you, one of the things that we've done now too, that we've made a change, and you all, I think, have inherited it midstream, but we brought on, Carrie alluded to this, but we brought on Grayson. And Grayson, in addition to being an amazing actor, high level actor, and also a special forces spouse, she is now our artistic director. So we now have sitting next to Carrie, when anyone that's interested in bringing the play to their town, we have, Carrie on the logistical side and the community facing side. And then we have Grayson, who can help just talk through and think through the theatrical specifics. And even if you find, for example, different theaters, you can put them on the phone with Grayson and have those conversations as well. And that's something that we've just learned in working with hosts like you all, where you have to go out and do the discovery learning, and you make it work, and it's going to be great. But it's an adjustment that we've tried to make on our end, so that we can keep the community hosted plays moving and trying to take as much of a load off of you all as we can. So, Ricky, any closing thoughts on Pensacola? How are you feeling about the show and the numbers and anything that you want to put out there?
I think it's going to be great. Like I said, we've got some participation from the radio station. I know you did that interview with Dan Brennan, which is an amazing guy. Has a great story himself, and he'll be participating. But I think those interviews are going to be great and help us get this message out. We've got some TV station stuff coming up. I think another podcast with a veterans group in a few days. So, like I said, I think we'll have a great turnout.
That's awesome. Okay. Well, again, Ricky, Mimi, thank you all both so much. I actually get to see you in person. Monty and I do. So we're super excited about that. And it's going to be awesome to sit and watch the play with you.
Yeah, I hate that you have to miss your anniversary trip, but we're glad we get to see you at the play. I think it's gonna help the turnout as well.
That's all good. Our anniversary trip's going to be in Pensacola. So
there you go.
Right on. Okay, thank you all. And Colin, if we could, I'm going to bring Lenny on now, and then let's go ahead and bring Michael up too. So Lenny and Michael, let me just do introductions here. So my brother, Lenny Bruce. Lenny is he's a former first group. He was a team sergeant, and Lenny has been with the play. He's the OG. He's the original cast member that's been with the play from all the way through. And I have to tell you, it has been really the anchor for the show year after year after year. Just has a nonstop attitude. And we actually met through the SF Brotherhood on Facebook when we were putting the play together. But he's been with me the entire time. And he's still playing Major Kenny Suggins just at the highest level. And then Michael Broderick rolled in and took over the role of Danny. He's coming up on a year of that. Former Marine, also professional actor, and has really just elevated the role like to the highest level. And what's been cool is that you've done it right alongside Stacy. So there's the impact and dynamics that you've done with Danny, and taken that to the level you've taken it. But then also just like in the relationship between Danny and Lynn, I think is just electric, and it helps so many people on that front. So Michael, I'll go to you first. Welcome. What's it been like, man? Almost a year. What's kind of going through your mind as you roll into Veterans Day, November, the month of the military family, and the final performance for 2025 in Pensacola?
Well, first of all, what a blessing it's been to be a part of this show. But I do have to interject. You are forgetting something. Yes, it's the month of military family. Yes, it's the last show of the year.
Here we go. Here we go.
It's the 250th birthday of my beloved United States Marine Corps.
Amazing. 100%. Thank you. I stand corrected. Semper Fi, my brother.
Hoorah.
Crayons for everybody.
But it's just been tremendous. Working with Lenny, who's like, he's the daddy of the cast. He's the old dog, the salty dog. He just keeps us in line and keeps us on track. And taking this on from you has been just incredible. Not only for my craft as an actor, getting back onto stage after 30 years, but the interaction, especially, I think my favorite parts of each show is the talk back. seeing firsthand the impact that it has on a community that I care about has been really gratifying. And to grow in it with this new cast, with the exception of Lenny, who's like I said, the salty dog, with Lynn and Perry and Josh has been really great. We're kind of building this together. And I think the relationships, not only our personal relationships, but the character relationships have become so much richer since we first started in Tampa a year ago. It's been just fantastic. I'm very grateful.
Yeah, man. Well said. And I'll tell you what, Colin, let's go ahead and bring Stacy up too. That way, if we have any like cast dynamics, we can jump in there. And yeah, perfect. Look at that. It's like Hollywood Squares. So Lenny, good to see you, my brother. What has it been like? Can you hear me, Lenny? Lenny can't hear me. You can't hear me. Michael, can you hear me?
I got you.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure. Lenny, can you hear me now? Sound check.
I can talk more if you like. So anyway, as I was saying.
Oh, wait. Did he just laugh at what you said?
The
All
talent.
right, hold on. Watch this shit. Okay. If he can't hear me, Michael, ask Lenny what it's like to be performing this role 3 seasons in a row.
Okay, Lenny, Scott has a question for you. What's it like to, since you can't hear him apparently, what's it like to play this in this show for 3 years in a row? This character, this role.
First of all, it's an honor and a pleasure. It's amazing. Scott has a knack for putting together highly cohesive teams, and just like every cast that has come before us, we've all been able to gel. But this cast right here, this iteration is, in my opinion, like the absolute best. I don't know how he does it, but I'm sure it's part of the casting process. But bringing on someone like you, Mike, who has a plethora of experience that can help guide us along our journey. Stacy having that absolutely authentic experience and her actual lived family life, putting that on stage. Josh. Nothing against the Navy, but yet, Josh brings a highly emotional aspect of Caden, Danny's son, and then you have Perry Blackburn, who was just raw, and he punches hard with his characters, every single one of them, and so watching this play evolve from 2018 until now, it's like this is amazing. And this show, that the last one we're doing this year, I think all of our energies are going to take this thing to the next level, and we're gonna blow the roof off. So I can't wait.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, man. And so I'm going to come to Stacy and Michael next, but before I do, if you would, Michael, just let Lenny know that I'll come to him in a minute.
Lenny, he's going to come back to you in a minute, or I will come back to you in a minute.
Okay, cool.
No, what's hilarious? So all my 18 Echo SF comms guys out there, if I don't get some accolades for pulling that shit off, like I just handled a redundancy problem like majorly well. So I better see at least some 18 Echo comments coming my way. So one of the things with Michael and Stacy, so in the writing, each of you has a super powerful scene, right? I mean, like it requires, one of them, Michael with suicidal ideation, and then Stacy, the worst possible news possibly coming your way, with a phone call and a knock on the door, like this requires, and I don't think people fully understand unless you've done this work. Like, it requires a level of generosity and process and work that that enables you to like not make it about you and actually let the audience have that moment and let the audience feel what they need to feel, right? Because it's different for everybody out there. And the only way that you can do that is to it's just complete generosity and giving all of oneself to that part of the story. And so I just wonder, just starting with Stacy, how do you come at that? We have a lot of people watching this who are storytellers who really love the aspect of storytelling. How do you come at that? How do you approach that? What's some things you've learned about it? Just kind of riff on it.
I mean, honestly, it's been a process from the very beginning. A lot of times we're off stage, obviously, when we're not on stage, duh. But when I'm off stage, I am watching, like, I watch Michael go through those things. And I sit there and I kind of little by little, I take all of that in. And that really helps me to get there emotionally too.
Okay.
So like that's part of it. And obviously, like I said, there's a lot of the things that are being said in the show, even that particular broadcast, in that particular scene really is personal for me as well. So I also kind of internalize that a little bit too, to help really get in that mindset. So it is as authentic as it can possibly get in that moment, where it's almost like an out of body experience for me.
Yeah.
And it's rough. It's rough, but it's necessary.
Yeah.
So I do that. I take that on myself, and I want to do it. I want to do it justice for the people who have been there and unfortunately got those calls and those knocks on the door and all that. And so I put myself authentically 100% into that every single performance.
And what are some of the comments that you get after the show in regards to that particular scene?
Oh my gosh. I mean, honestly, even for people who aren't in the service or they haven't had a service member, they even see themselves in that, just in the breakdown part of that scene. You know, when it's like you have all this life coming at you and you're going through a really tough season of life. They see themselves in that scene because you just break. You just can't take it anymore. And so I've had people say to me, like, you know, I was dealing with, you know, my father's death, or, you know, I was a caregiver for my parent who I was watching, you know, not go to a very good place. And that's how I felt. I just wanted to lose it. So they could see their pain as well in that scene.
Yeah. What's personal is universal, as Carl Rogers says.
Yeah.
So good. How about you, Michael? Because with yours, you know, there is, and I'm coming at this one as a guy like who, you know, stood in a closet with a pistol, but also who played the role that you're playing and you know, wrestled with these various things, ranging from, you know, moral injury to survivor's guilt to just a range of other things that just made no sense at all. You know, you're harnessing all those in such a physical way. Like what I love about how you do it is you communicate so much, just non-verbally. What is your approach to that, and what have you learned about it in doing that? How has it evolved maybe over the year?
Well, that's a really heavy scene, and it's a little bit different every time because, you know, I just try to come at it honestly and as raw a way as possible. It's, you know, it's not something I can draw from personal experience. So like Stacy mentioned, you know, you use substitutions and things like that. You know, I've lost friends to suicide, and so, you know, I'm a Meisner guy, you know, the acting teacher Meisner. So, you know, it's just living truthfully under imaginary circumstances. And Stanislavski talked about public solitude. I'm all alone up there. I don't think about the audience. You had mentioned that, you have to allow the audience to feel that. I trust that they do. I don't think about that in the moment, though. It's a really difficult scene, man. It's hard every night. But I don't know that I have much more to say about it than that. I hope I said something coherent.
No, you did, and I agree with you. I think you've got to just you've got to trust that the audience finds what they need in it. But I do believe that the danger in some of these scenes, I think, in the work and the challenges that you can go so inward with it, that it becomes like a therapy session on stage. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That was one of the reasons that we worried about with even introducing this scene, because it does push so much up against the edge of what so many of our warfighters deal with. But I think you do a really honorable job with it, and you allow people to look at it and talk about it in a way that maybe we can do something about it.
Well, that's good. And, not many people, maybe one person has come up to me and wanted to talk about that scene afterwards after the talk back. A couple of people mentioned it during the talk back, but it hasn't been anything that I've had to discuss it with anyone. They probably talked to Doc Diego actually, if it was something they were carrying. But to get back to, it is a trap for an actor, a scene like that. It can be. But I think the way the play is written, you get that, Danny gets that out with the next scene with Malik John. And I think it wasn't something I considered at first, but I found that it worked. So I allowed to go there. I carry that scene into the next scene. It might not make sense reality wise, but I think for the story, it makes sense. So that's just kudos to you and Jason and Monty for that transition.
Well, thanks, man. Maybe pass this to Lenny. What would be his parting shot to anybody thinking about coming to the show in Pensacola? What would he say to him?
Lenny, a parting shot for you. What would you say to somebody thinking about coming to the show in Pensacola?
I'd say don't miss it. Number one, you're going to, if you're military or military family member, you're going to see your life on stage, especially if you deployed. And even if you didn't, you'll see aspects of your relativity to military life on stage. People who are civilians who don't understand what our veterans have been through and what their families have been through will gain so much information, and they'll be able to connect with the community as well. So that's very important. And another aspect is the amount of emotional grit and the true cost of war is there on stage for you. You can see all of the devastation, but you can also see the love. So I think there's a lot of healing that will come out of it. And, for someone who knows someone in the military, they'll be able to talk to them much differently after this show than they've ever done before. So it's nothing but a benefit to anybody who comes to the show.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I would just say to all three of you guys and the rest of the cast, you guys have just taken it to the next level. For those that haven't seen the show yet, or even if you have, we've talked to the cast. We're going to push the show into next year. We're going to keep running with this thing. This team keeps leveling up, so we're going to keep leveling up with it. What I would also tell you, though, if you can, get to the show in 2025. This one is going to be, I have a feeling it's going to be electric, and the talk back itself, it's going to be super powerful as well. So to Michael, Stacy, and Lenny, thank you guys so much, and I will see you in a couple of weeks.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
You got it, man. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So, all right, as we kind of wrap up here, I just want to talk for a couple of minutes on 11 days. We've had several people asking about that. 11 days, the story of Operation Pineapple Express. This is our second production that Task Force Pineapple is working on. It is an adaptation, a one-act play from my book Operation Pineapple Express. It's about a 75-minute one-person show. We've been writing this since November of last year. We started moving the pen in 2024. It's taken a year to get to where we are just on the script, and then we started standing the play up September, late September, and now we're running hard with the rehearsals. We are deep in rehearsals. It is a one-person show, but it covers the 11 days of the botched withdrawal. I play a range of characters on this side of the pond and on the other side of the pond, both Afghan allies, guys that were on the ground from the 82nd, as well as veterans who helped move their allies through the trenches. And I think what you'll get from this show, so, Last Out is all about education and healing around this idea of letting go of the pain that we carry from modern war. That's the underlying theme for this show. And then I will tell you that 11 Days is a testimony that I do from my backyard that I didn't get to do when I testified to the House Foreign Affairs Committee. It's what I wish I'd have said. It's what I wish I'd had the time to say. And it's what many of our Afghan allies and frankly, our veterans, because of their moral injury, have not had the opportunity to say. I'm going to fucking say it. And so this is a powerful, powerful show. It hits hard, and it's going to be December 17 through 20. In Ybor City. I'm going to ask Colin to put there it is right there. If you go to tfpineapple.org, you can get tickets there. It's going to be the 17th, the 18th, the 19th, and the 20th. Really, really powerful show. A talk back will follow. It's going to start at 7 p.m. each night. And then we're going to be touring in 2026 with the one-person show. So again, Carrie will be the tour manager for that. If you want to bring the show to your town, there's a specific approach to doing that. Just put hashtag host, and do me a favor, if you want to host one or both of the shows, put hashtag host 11 days or hashtag host Last Out, or both if you want to host both. That would really help us a lot. So as we kind of close this thing out, Last Out, Pensacola, November 22nd. Colin will put the banner in there one more time for that one. Get your tickets now for that. It's one night, and I do think it's going to sell out. If you know someone in the Northwest Florida area, send them a note, invite them, bring a neighbor. If you're a veteran, bring a civilian. If you're a civilian, bring a veteran. Come with your old team, come with your new spouse, like whatever the configuration is, sit in this community together and talk about this hard subject of war in a way that's healing and cathartic. Same way with 11 Days. Going to be in Ybor City at the HCC Performing Arts Center, December 17 through 20. Go ahead and get your tickets now. I think there's not a lot of seats in that theater, and I think it'll sell out quick. And I don't know when this show will get back to Tampa after. We're just not sure. It's certainly going to be several months. And if you'd like to host, just put hashtag host in there. And then finally, we need all the help we can to keep this thing running. Any donations help. Any amount of money helps. tfpineapple.org to donate. We would greatly appreciate it. It makes a difference. I'll ask Carrie to go back through the questions in the chat. And for our brothers and sisters that were dialing in from different platforms, if I didn't get a chance to weigh in with your questions, I will. Bill Malone wrote, it's a closeout. I've not seen the play, but I've read Last Out. The emotions that I felt as I read it were visceral and transported me back to my time in Afghanistan. You guys did a masterful job, and I will be in the audience one day. Bill's in Canada. That means a lot. It means a lot that all of you are on tonight. I know you have a lot to do. But in this month of November, as we honor our veterans and our military families, I think one of the most powerful ways that we can do that is through the stories that we tell. In the words of Tim O'Brien and the things they carried, stories are for those late hours in the night, for when you can't remember how you got from where you were to where you are now, for when memory is erased and there's nothing left to remember except the story. God bless you guys. Go to tfpineapple.org to be part of this amazing storytelling experience, and we'll see you on the rooftop.